Emergency. This is an expat story, some advice, tell you a little bit about how things operate here, and touch on a couple of other subjects as well. Anyway, I've got a friend, a Brit actually, and he lives down the hall from me a bit. Anyway, he had a bad fall the other day. Say hi to the world.
Hello.
Hello. And you just got a glucose bag up here, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And the oxygen here.
Okay. The breakfast of champions. And this is the food they bring you?
Yeah. No, in the
Okay.
hospital.
All right, that's the hospital food.
It's the hospital.
And that's where you sleep?
Yeah.
That's what she says.
All right. Look in the CR. I will tell you a little bit about the ambulance situation, a little bit about the bill and how it was paid. 2 days in the hospital, a little under 500 US, about 23,000 something pesos. And the helper. Of course, this isn't going to happen to you or me, but it's a joke. But it's good to think ahead, plan ahead. In the USA, around the world, many countries have a one emergency number. In the USA, in many countries around the world, it's 911. Other countries have a different number. My understanding is the Philippines, in many parts of the Philippines, does have a 911 number, but it is much better to know your local number because they will respond much faster than if you call a logistics center someplace, some other city, and then they have to get a hold of the local people and there might be miscommunication, that type of thing. Anyway, my friend fell, hit his head, was bleeding out of the ear. He didn't really know the extent of that, cut himself on the arm, maybe the leg. But anyway, he couldn't get a hold of anybody. He couldn't get up off the floor. He couldn't reach his phone to call anybody. He has numbers in his phone. In fact, one of his major advices, he told me over and over again, and he's going to get a second phone and always have it with him. He'll have it regardless in a pocket in his pants, if he's in the kitchen, if he's in the bathroom, wherever. So he always has access to a phone with an emergency number in it. My friend was able to find a piece of cardboard and a pen, and he wrote, "Help, I need an ambulance right now," put his unit number on it, was able to open the door just enough, or no, I think he slid that cardboard underneath of his door, so it was out in the hallway. About an hour later, ambulance showed up. They came up to his door and took him to the hospital. I did a little bit research online. I know in the USA, or probably in Europe, other Asia, different parts, they have alert systems you can subscribe to, and if you fall, it will set off an alert, and they will try to contact you. If they don't contact you, they will send an ambulance or some sort of help. Anyway, this I found online. Most of the things I found online were just noisemakers, some kind of siren that you can set off to alert somebody something is wrong. Anyway, a medical alert system for seniors with fall detection, GPS portable 4G SOS alert system with 24/7 emergency monitoring, call to activate with mobile app. Anyway, look over here on the right, out of stock. Typical here, unfortunately. I do not know if those types of services are available here in the Philippines. Somebody out there knows. Please let us know in the comments section. My friend just turned 89 just a few days ago, and we had a little birthday party for him. He does pretty well for being 89. I hope I'm in that good a shape if I reach that fine old age. Now let's talk about the bill. The ambulance came. I just went down. I talked to him, and he doesn't remember being asked to pay the ambulance, so maybe it's included in this hospital bill. It is not itemized, but anyway, the hospital is just, gosh, a long block and a half away from us, so they didn't take them very far. And I think the ambulance is very local ambulance as well, a barangay ambulance, I believe. So maybe that's part of the service that's provided. Anyway, 2 days in the hospital, room and board, about 5,800, about 100 US dollars. Drugs and medicine, under 2,000 pesos. We're talking pesos. Emergency supplies, under 2,000. Oxygen, and such. You got that. Radiological imaging. They did some X-rays. That came to a little over 4,000. Medical supplies, about 2,600, it looks like. Hospital miscellaneous. That might be where the ambulance was charged out. I'm not sure. 27, looks like. The total for 2 days came to about 23,686, I think. And at 55 pesos to the US dollar, of course he uses pounds in the UK, but that would come out to be 430 US dollars about. Now he had a private room, and I think it was pretty reasonable. Um, you could save some money by going to a semi-private room and or a ward, something like what you see here. And then he had his care. He's got a care that comes 3 times a week, helps him do some cooking. He likes to do most everything by himself, but he likes to 1 day a week or two, he likes to do some cooking, cook up a lot of stuff for the rest of the week. She helps him with that. She helps him go grocery shopping, a few other things. You need a carer in the Philippines. You need somebody there to, if there's any special medicines and stuff that they don't have at the hospital, to go and get them, to go and get some. Now they fed him food, I think 3 meals a day in his situation, but some hospitals, your helper needs to go get you food and medicine, those sorts of things. That's slowly evolving, I think, where hospitals are supplying more of that. Now, when it came to pay that bill, my friend had let his UK, his British credit card expire, so he didn't have that. Now, I think he has a HSBC, as banks in the UK as well as here, and he has an account here, and he has one in the UK, transfers money here. But I think he only has a debit card, so he had not. I think when he checked in, they asked for 23,000 pesos deposit. He had 15,000 or 13,000 with him, so he put that. They accepted that as a deposit. And from the emergency room, they had admitted him to a private room. I actually had a lady neighbor lives 1 floor above me. I was out on my balcony, and she mentioned, I haven't seen Peter. I haven't seen Peter for a day. Is he okay? And I texted him, didn't get a message. So I walked down there. His door was open. I went in. Looked like there had been an accident in his room. So I didn't know what happened to him. I tried to message him, and sometime later, I did receive a message. I'm at Velez Hospital. It's a long story. I'll tell you later. So anyway, I went over there, and he basically didn't really have any injuries. Any major injuries, very luckily. So they were basically monitoring him for 2 days. He may have even gotten out at that first day, but he said, I'm not quite ready to go home, so he stayed an extra day. But I went in there, and then the hospital asked for additional payment on the charges. So because he didn't have money on his debit card, he uses it for groceries, and then he puts more money on his debit card, I think. I used my credit card. I went down and used my credit card, paid another 5,000 something, And then when we checked him out the following day, I paid 8,000 something. Uh, so it all took care of all that. And then the following day, when he came home, he transferred money into his account here and had his helper go and take it out of the ATM and paid me back. One thing my friend wanted me to emphasize in this video was that you should always have a way to contact somebody in case of emergency. In his case, he's going to carry that phone with him all the time. And frankly, a lot of times I go walking, I don't carry a phone with me. So if something happens, I would depend upon the kindness of the Filipinos to help me out, I guess. And so they wouldn't even have what I should do in my wallet. I should put some contact numbers in there, and I'll do that in the future. In fact, today just reminded me to do that. Contact numbers, emergency numbers. I've got another friend who came here. He's given me contact numbers for some of his family back in the USA, in how he put it, in case something happens to me. And 7 months ago or so, I fell walking downtown at night, busted my shoulder up, dislocated, and broke my shoulder. I was laying on the ground out by the highway in the grass, as a matter of fact. Probably 5 or 10 minutes before I was I was in so much pain, face down. I was able to get up, and very painful, but I walked, found a taxi, took me home. My girlfriend had just gotten home, asked her to take me to the hospital, and took care of that anyway. Oh, another thing, when I went down to pay that last day, that extra 8,000 something pesos, they tried and they tried and they said, "Oh, the service is offline. You can't make your payment now." And I was getting, we were we were all getting pretty frustrated because he was supposed to check out by noon, and here it is about 3 in the afternoon, and they kept coming up with excuses about billing is taking longer and this and that, and now, "Oh, we're not able to process your payment, sir." And I said, "Well, what's the solution? We've already been held up here for many hours." And she thought, "Oh, there's another terminal over here," and she went and got that other credit card terminal and turned it off, turned it back on, reset it, and it connected and was able to take care of that. But you will find those kind of things here. I've had it happen even in grocery stores, big grocery stores. "Oh, your credit card isn't working, sir." And I've told them, "Well, it's not my credit card, it's your system that isn't working." And they will go to another cashier station, use a different card reader, and that one apparently was online and it worked. I think here in the Philippines, almost 100% of the time when they admit you to a hospital, that they're going to ask for a deposit. And if you don't have cash, they're going to ask for the payment somehow. I think there are laws where they can't legal hold you. I saw an article just the other day where one hospital up in Luzon, I think some rural hospital, was trying to hold some relatives until a particular bill was paid, and they're being investigated now, and because I think it's illegal to do that, but there will be a lot of pressure put on you to pay before you leave, an attempt to keep you from leaving, perhaps. Now, I like to keep everything balanced. When I was in the U.S. about 10 years ago, I had my gallbladder removed, and when I went in a very large, popular hospital in Phoenix, Arizona, Tempe, Arizona, actually, and before I was allowed to go up to the area where they were going to check me in and do the operation, they sent me over to the billing department. They said, "This is going to cost such and such and such. Your insurance is going to pay this much. You still have this much of a deductible. How would you like to pay that, sir?" And they asked me, and I did. I paid a big chunk of my bill right then and there on a credit card. So, that was my experience in the USA as well. They want to get their money from those of us who can pay. You know, there are a lot of immigrants, illegal immigrants, very poor who cannot pay their bills. So these hospitals just have to suck it up and absorb those costs and raise their prices so the rest of us pay for everybody else, I guess. I have a playlist on medical and dental expenses here in the Philippines. You might want to watch some of those. I'll put a link at the end of this video to that playlist. But anyway, the point being, think about it. Be prepared for emergencies. And anyway, safe travels. Try to stay out of hospitals, but I also advise you, if you have something, because there are different bugs over here in the Philippines and Southeast Asia, and you can catch things. I've got a couple of friends, and I've had a sinus infection, and the specialist that I went to see said he treats a lot of Westerners because they're not used to the more constant, higher humidity, unless you come from southeast USA, Florida, Georgia, different states where it's is humid and hot much of the year. And so there's a good chance that you're going to get some sort of infection or bacteria or virus, that sort of thing. Um, don't wait. Don't wait too long. Go see a doctor, a specialist, and see if you can't get it taken care of early on before it becomes more serious. Anyway, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.